Welcome to another Team Leader training session. In previous sessions, we talked about your role as the team leader and the primary way that you'll carry out that role by making a weekly phone call to each of your assigned leaders. We also talked about the 4 kinds of coaching calls that you will make on a rotating basis. Well, since then, we've devoted individual training sessions to each of those kinds of calls. This is another one of those. And so, for the next few minutes, we'll focus on the pastoral care call. You're probably well into the habit by now, but if you haven't printed out the viewing guide for this session, pause the video and do so now. Fill in the blanks as we go along and then hold on to it for future reference. Your campus ministry director will also be getting with you about the information as well. Now, if you were to ask how many churches make up Community Christian Church, what would you say? Some of you might say, we're one church in multiple locations. Others of you might count the geographical locations where we hold services and say, that's how many churches make up Community Christian Church. Well, you would be shocked if I were to tell you that Community Christian is actually currently made up of several dozen churches. It's true. And the reason I say that is because we believe that every team and small group represents the church in its most basic form. In other words, every team or small group is a mini congregation. With that being said, it should then make sense to you when I say that the leader of any community Christian group or team is responsible for caring for his little church, his members. This is true for the leaders of the sermon-based small groups that you'll be coaching as well. Your third call in the rotation of coaching calls will check in on how that's going. So let's find out about how to do that. Number 1, pull up the group roster and coaching call notes. The rosters can be found in Connection Power, a web-based data system used by the church. If he or she hasn't done so already, your small group campus director will be giving you access to Connection Power and showing you how to use it. It's helpful to have the names of group members in front of you as you're speaking with their leader about how caring for them is going. Also, before placing the call, look back in your personal records and read any notes that you made from your last pastoral care call to this leader. Be sure to follow up on anything that you mentioned there. Number 2, ask about group attendance. Since being a part of a group or a team is the primary way that care is given at Community Christian, it's important to see which members have been attending and receiving care. Simply ask the question, have all of these people been able to attend group sometime during the past 4 weeks? You may even want to call out the group member names to help your leader in the recollection process. Ask for the names of any new attenders as well. Number 3, ask follow-up questions about absentees. It should be a matter of concern for group leaders who have members that have not attended in 4 weeks. Group participation is a means of vital connection to the church and to the care it provides. Lack of attendance can be an indicator of problems in the life of the individual, with the group, or with the church. So it's important that you ask follow-up questions when a group leader mentions a member's 4-week absence. Examples of effective follow-up questions might include, have you and the member been in communication during that time? Were reasons given for the prolonged absence? Are there possible reasons other than the ones stated that may be a factor in this? What actions need to be taken? Number 4, ask about other needs. Ask the group leader about other current needs among group members. Provide any wisdom and/or support you can to small group leaders as they share. If any needs are greater than the group is able to meet, brainstorm other means of support, including church programs, partnerships with other groups you coach, etc. Number 5, check on the frequency of DVD discussions. Playing the DVD curriculum is the primary way that small groups accomplish their mission of exposing participants to biblical truth from the Sunday message and holding them accountable for living out the 5 Gs. So, it's important that the DVD is regularly being viewed and that discussion is taking place. Now sure, there are going to be things that happen in groups from time to time that need to take priority, but this should not be consistently the case. It's also possible on occasion that the leader himself watches the DVD, takes notes of the 5G question, and then chooses to lead the group time without showing the DVD, but still covers the same information. An example of a question is, how often did you have DVD discussions over the past 4 weeks, and how are those going? At this point in time, it's probably important to mention what does not take place in the pastoral care call. In the midst of talking with group leaders about needs in the group, it would be very easy to drift into also talking about spiritual next steps that group members are taking. If possible, do not do that unless some spiritual next step of a group member has created some kind of need within the group or within another member. The group's spiritual next steps will be covered in another call in the rotation. We want to honor both your time and the time of the small group leader. That's why we've tried to design 4 different kinds of coaching calls that cover all the bases with a maximum investment of 15 minutes per week. Well, enough about that. The last thing you need to do in regard to this call is, number 6, update information. At the conclusion of your call, update attenders in Connection Power, deleting those who have not attended in the 4-week period and adding any new members. Also, update your personal records, noting any follow-up items for the next pastoral care call. Well, that wraps up the how-tos of the pastoral care call. A couple of the calls in your rotation specifically minister to the small group leader. With this call, your focus changes in that you're also investing in the health of the group itself. We can't say enough about your importance and the importance of your calls in helping groups accomplish their mission and growing to be more like Jesus. Thanks for being on mission with us.